Hello everyone, I'm going to show you the best way, this is my favorite way anyway, to make a provisional cast on. So it's called the Crochet Cast On, and you can work it either with waste yarn or with your main yarn, but in this case I'm showing you how to do it with the waste yarn. So starting with your waste yarn, you're going to make a slip knot in whatever way is most comfortable for you. There we go. Put it on your crochet hook and tighten it up a little bit. Okay, and then you need your knitting needle that you're going to use for your project. So holding the knitting needle in your left, the crochet hook in your right, and the yarn behind the knitting needle, you reach around in front of the knitting needle with the crochet hook, grab the working yarn from underneath, and pull it through the loop. Then you move your working yarn to the back, reach around in front of the needle, pull a new loop through, and so on. Now if you've crocheted before and you know how to make a crochet chain, you'll notice that basically we're just making a crochet chain, but we're building it around the knitting needle. And this saves us the other crochet provisional cast on. You actually make the chain on its own, and then you come back and you pick up the bumps at the back of the crochet chain. And this just saves us that second step because we're building the crochet chain right around the knitting needle instead, which I really, really love. Alright, so let's say I only need a couple stitches cast on for my project. There, that's nice. So I'll move the yarn to the back. So you cast on as many as you need onto the knitting needle. So here I have 2, 4, 6, 8. And then I have a 9th one on my crochet chain, but I don't need that one. So if you need 8, cast on 8 to the knitting needle. And then just take your scissors and cut your yarn tail. And what you're going to do is you're just going to pull that tail directly through the loop. Don't wrap it around your knitting needle this time. Just pull it through in whatever way is easiest. And pull it all the way through. So what that is going to do, it's just going to hold your last stitch so it doesn't unravel before you're ready. Alright, and then once you have enough stitches cast on in your waste yarn, you take your working yarn and just start knitting. Okay, don't join it, you don't have to. All you have to do is hold it and start knitting in your first stitch there. And leave the tail dangling. Alright, I'm going to work across the row just so you can see what it looks like. There we go. So what happens then is you have your first row cast on. The first stitch of the crochet chain gets a little loose there, but don't worry, it's not going to hurt anything. Okay, and I'm going to purl back across. I'm just going to work one more row so you can see what it looks like. And I'm going to show you how to unzip your crochet chain when you're ready. You can just leave it there for your entire project if you need to. You don't have to take it out until, oh, see, and when I purl into that first stitch, it's not, the tail isn't anchored to anything, so it's very loose. So, oh, I actually pulled it out of my stitch. I should have left my tail longer. So I'm just going to pop it back through there. There we go. Okay, don't make that mistake. Make sure you leave a longer tail with your first yarn. Alright. There, and now let's pretend that I've worked far enough, like that my hem is far enough and I'm ready to turn it or whatever, and I'm ready to unzip my chain so I can pick up the live stitches that are going to be left. So first, what I'm going to do is take that tail out of that last stitch. Remember we threaded it through, so just unthread the tail. Okay, and now you can start unzipping your crochet chain. So what makes it easier for me is if I actually turn it upside down, because then I can see the stitches as they're unzipped. Okay, so this here is a tail. It's not really a stitch. If I were working in the round, it would be a stitch, but for now I'll just leave it as is. Alright, so here's my first stitch right there. I can put my knitting needle into it and then gently tug on my chain and it unzips, and I have one stitch caught on my needles. I'm really regretting not making that tail longer now. Okay, and then you reach stitch in to the next stitch with your needle and unzip it. And reach into the next stitch and unzip it. And you just go like this carefully across your provisional cast on row until you have all of your stitches picked up on your knitting needle. Reach into the next stitch and unzip it. There we go. And so on. Mommy. And now you see I have live stitches on both sides. Mommy. And I'd better go because apparently Eva needs me. That is how you do a provisional crochet cast on. There. Oh, and then the last one, you actually have to pull the tail right out. Okay. And there it is.